Most players start their road to glory as a 5-star recruit, but I'm starting with nothing. No stars, no offers, just a dream of eventually lifting the Heisman Trophy while leading my team to a national championship, all starting from this football field in Alaska. To achieve anything as a 1-star recruit, it's going to be the most challenging road to glory ever, where playing on the hardest difficulty is already a given, and I might be the #1 player in Alaska, but I have no offers. I also only have 5 games left in my high school career to get some, but I started this as an underdog for a reason. I'll be playing as myself, so I'm 5'9", but I'm also 240 pounds instead of 160. I just figured that giving myself some extra girth would help out. But it's time to start my journey from the bottom to the top of college football, and I'll be playing my entire high school career plus my freshman season in this video. It'll be very important that we commit to the right school, but I had to put a bunch of bottom feeders on our interest list because I wanted us to at least have options of schools we could go to. We have Oregon at the top because that's my favorite program, at least in this universe, and Dan Lanning reached out to us to basically break the news that he never wants us on his team. My thought process, though, is if we play well against Sitka High, we might end up getting on his radar, but we are running out in front of not many fans here in Alaska. For our first drive, all we have to do is rush for 10 yards and successfully juke or spin out a defender. So that at least has me feeling a little bit better. We're going for the juke, but we didn't get around him. If I can't succeed in Alaska high school football, then it's going to be a very long career for me. But as you can see, we're rushing down the sideline. And there at the end of the play, I would have considered that a successful spin. But the game did not, so we're going to go for another big run. We got it. We just need to juke a defender. You don't have to tell me that Road to Glory this year is extremely dumb with how they've set up high school. We're all aware. And this is a perfect example of it. All we have to do to be successful is juke a defender. Whether or not we get a scholarship offer does not depend on anything besides that. And starting as a 2-star, we know that we're going to have to upgrade stuff like our juke move eventually. That's not a successful spin. If playing for Oregon is ever going to be on the table, we're going to have to achieve everything. But as you can see, it is now 3rd and goal. We still haven't juked a defender. And why didn't he pitch it? At the very least, I need a touchdown on our first drive. So we're going for it. We dive in. But even though we should be excited, we didn't achieve our main goal. Our game tape is still going to go up by 150, which is nice. But not for getting a lot of scholarship offers, which is why this next drive is going to be big for us. Can we break off a big run? We see the space, and they're catching us. You know what? I think it's time that we also prove our use as a receiver, that we're not just a running back. Wasn't the greatest route in the world, but I like how we're staying on the field, and we need to be dominating high school football if we're going to have a chance at being good in college. On 3rd and inches, it looks like our blocks are going to be there for us to get like 5, and we need to keep a close eye on our rival because our only goal in this drive is to not take a tackle for a loss from him. Our first successful spin. I like to see that, but why is this guy our rival? What did he do that makes us hate him? I was gonna say, did he take our girl or something? But the rival on the field is changing with every play. Last play it was 46. For that play it was number 10. Now it's number 11, a completely different kid again. So did the entire team just steal our girl or something? I mean, at that point, she is definitely no longer ours, but we're not scoring off of this. And even though we had no success there, we completed the moment, so we got a better game tape score than our first drive. High school football is an interesting space. I'm ready to just go ahead and get on to college. And I think after this one, we're just going to really reflect on our board and see what all can we change up as we head into the rest of the season, because I think we're going to get some offers. We might be starting as low as we can as a 1-star recruit, but it doesn't matter where you start. It matters where you finish, and we should probably pay attention to some of our goals as it's now 3rd and long. We need to make sure the chains stay moving, so that is why we needed that pass accurately. Come on. I get it's a high school quarterback in Alaska, but we are trying to grind our way to the top. I think things will be a little bit easier for us on this drive, though, because all we have to do is get the clock under 40 seconds. And that was a really big run from us right there. That's what you want to see. I will say running the clock under 40 seconds was a relatively easy drive goal for us here, though we want the touchdown too. And I think we'll be able to punch it in on this play. Our offensive line's looking nice. Now, I can't believe I'm saying this, but off of just one performance, Akron has already offered us a full athletic scholarship. And so is a program like Hawaii, which would be a completely different environment from playing in Alaska. We've actually gotten so many official scholarship offers, and this is because I put a lot of terrible teams on our recruiting board. But I was not expecting it to be that easy for us starting from the bottom as a 2-star recruit. They won't let me start as a 1-star, so that's as low as I can go. That performance didn't change where we were ranked, though. I wonder if there's even scouts out there in Alaska. We've got college entrance exams this week. Do we want to study? We could, or we could just prepare for the next game. I think that was the right decision. We now have a +5 change of direction for our next one. And it's not like we're trying to get into Harvard or Vanderbilt, so it won't matter that we struggled on our entrance exam. In fact, that has alerted schools like Navy that they should really start considering us. I don't know if we want to enlist in the Army, but but we're going to let him scout. And I'm actually offended that Sam Houston has not offered us a scholarship like the rest of these awful schools because they've not been good in real life. At the moment, I can't say I'm surprised that we're projected to be a walk-on at either Oregon or Washington, but there's a real opportunity for us to actually get a scholarship there. I'm going to revamp this entire board. With this many programs having this much interest after just one game, I think we're going to be able to bet on ourselves to go to a bigger school than I was ever expecting. But at the same time, it needs to be a good fit, and I think Tulane would be a really cool place for us to start out if we could earn that offer, especially with how much they run the football. I'm also not opposed to switching up and becoming a Mormon, as BYU is now going to be on our board. We've also put West Virginia and Iowa. If we could save the Iowa offense, their defense is going to support us well. I still have no idea where I want to play college football, but we have another 4 high school games to help us decide. Once again, it looks like on our home field, we're just not going to be dealing with any snow. I have a feeling this is a little bit odd for Alaska, but it's what we're working with. And our only goal for this first drive is to rush for a touchdown. I'm pretty sure this is what Navy wants us to achieve. So if we want to play for a military school, we needed to get the ball there, but there was just no pitch. And that's got to be a secure catch. Well, it took us almost no time to fail our first drive. A 3-and-out is far from ideal. And this handoff, we just don't have the speed to get around him. We need to make a catch on a play-action play, though. And we just got leveled right there. So I'm hoping maybe this time around we can call for it immediately. Though he's not throwing it. And it's a fumble. It's a fumble. We got to scoop this up ourselves. See, this is where it all just goes downhill. I mean, our game tape score and other colleges are literally blaming us for our quarterback just sitting there and holding the football. And our only shot at redemption is having a very good drive. Starting on the 6-yard line, we need to rush for a first down. We need to rush for a touchdown. But I just noticed it's 3rd and 11, and we're stuck. We're stuck. We're calling for it late. We got to reach for it. We have it. We don't have many opportunities to make a great impression on these coaches. So I'm really trying to take advantage of every opportunity that we can get. But we aren't that much more athletic or talented than most of the other players on this field. I think that's been the most eye-opening part about all of this. We're not able to dominate. And it's preventing us from breaking off a lot of big plays, though there's a lot of offside penalties. I don't know what's going on at Anchorage, but they have had like 3 or 4. And this is a slow grind down the field. Can we break off a big run? It feels like it's never going to happen, so we're just going to go for a halfback screen, see if this can put us in a better spot to get our first rushing touchdown. It's not happened yet in this game, but it might occur right here. And I feel like it's only right that we stay in hurry-up mode. We continue to pound it, and we just see that open space and reach forward. I hope that makes up for a slow start in this one. And what would truly make up for is if we could rush for 3 first downs on this drive. That's the goal that they want us to achieve. I think we're just going to go for a halfback angle. But once again, 3rd and long, I always feel like the best way for us to have a chance at picking that up is just going 5 wide, and we're able to run under it, but we don't want to get too many yards. We still need to gain 2 more first downs. I can't believe we held on to it. And I'm not sure what the cover ball thing is. I think it might be R1. That's what it says it is in the top right corner, but I was holding R1 there, and we didn't cover the ball at all. As long as we just finish off this drive strong, though. Come on. Allow us to get that 3rd first. And I guess we're not going to be able to cover the ball in any of this. Are you kidding me? Oh, no. That is not R1. That is L1. And I thought if R1 wasn't working, let's just see what L1 does. It's normally lateral. Well, that's going to give us another turnover. I'm just going to blame EA for not having a working game, though. I'm not going to blame myself for doing something that might be seen as dumb. We've gotten our first offer from a military school. And look at this. Even head coach Brian Newberry is reaching out. He says he commends us for including them inside our top 10. The backs are the cornerstone of their offense, which they are. They run the triple option. So I think we want to go there. And you know what? At the moment, I am so sold on going to Navy that we're going to post them as our top school. It says it'll make it slightly easier to get a scholarship from them. Misspelled, by the way. But I actually don't think we should have done that because now that everyone else has seen it, it's going to be harder to obtain a scholarship from other schools inside our top 5. As for our star rating, it keeps on increasing a little bit every single week. We might not even be the lowest star rating that you can be headed into college if we continue to play well. Still the #1 player in the state. But literally like 20 minutes after Brian Newberry was so excited to have us, and we even made a post about Navy, he said that we didn't quite accomplish what he was looking for, so I am disappointed. To make up for it, I'm going to go to homecoming. We're going to have a good time at homecoming. I'm not sliding into DMs of the most popular senior. That is setting up for embarrassment. I'm not asking the head cheerleader. I know our role at the moment. Wait, you know what? We're the #1 rated player in the state of Alaska. We can ask the head cheerleader. Surely she'll come. Or maybe she won't. We're not big dog on campus. They respond they can't go because of a relative's birthday, which is just such a fake excuse. They show up with the team's 4-star safety. That does not exist in Alaska. We're the #1 player. You know what, though? If we're not going to have a girl, we're going to take all that extra time and just pour it into our athletic career. She will regret that decision at some point. Looking at some of the offers that we have at the moment, ones like Navy, we get an increased starting academic meter, which I don't care much for. I want stuff like our starting XP to be higher, but for both Akron and Charlotte, I'm not excited about either of those opportunities. Halfback 3 for the 49ers, halfback 4 for the Zips. We better start playing a lot better. This game's actually homecoming for us, so there's not much time left in the season. And we're starting with the challenge of successfully juking or spinning a defender. We got one right there. We made him miss, and we just don't get any credit for it. So I guess we're gonna have to do it again. It's the only goal we have on this drive, and we literally just juked out another defender. I saw his ankles go on the ground, but we're still getting 0 credit. I really hope that next year they just fix Road to Glory. I think it's definitely a lot better of an experience once you get to college, but in high school, it's just not good. So many parts of it simply do not function. We haven't juked a defender still. This was something that we struggled with earlier on, and I was trying to find anything besides that challenge. But unfortunately, there was no avoiding it. We got a great running lane here, or it looked like we would have. I'd actually love to have this playbook once we get to college, though. We've been able to move the ball out of it pretty well, and that's going to be a dot that we drop. It turns out when you can't bring a catch in like that, nobody's impressed. So I'm doing a pretty good job of us keeping the same star rating and beginning this road to glory not doing well. I'll tell you what, though, that is not good news, because this was a challenge when I tried this as a receiver. So to do the most challenging road to glory with a running back's going to be even worse. We couldn't even get an inch there. It's about to be 4th and inches. Please do not get us off of the field. All we had to do was pick up a little bit. We're still on our feet. And that was such a sick run. It might be the best one that we've had. You know the drill, though. On a 3rd down to keep this drive alive, we needed a catch. Our challenge on this drive has actually been to audible for 5+ yards, but we can't get it. It brings up a 3rd and 4 where no one blocked him. This is not ideal, but we're going for it on 4th and 3. We need to get an audible for a touchdown on this drive, and we're catching it out in space. Come on. Okay, so the idea here is simple. Audible for a touchdown. We get a lot of game tape bonuses. We just went from a passing play to a running play. He's untouched. But we're going to try it again. We went from a pass to a run, and here we go. Straight up the seam. Or the middle. I don't know. I've been tripping out. This whole game has been frustrating. But now we need to go down the field, score a touchdown on an RPO play, and I think we're going to become a good pass catcher. Especially early on in our career when we get to college, that might be where most of our stats come from. It could also depend on the school that we commit to. That will play another factor. Is that a first? It was. But as I was saying, depending on the school we go to, who knows what we'll be doing. If our offensive line is no good, it's going to really impact how well we can run the football. I mean, here, you've seen what not having a great offensive line has done. We have so many carries that we just get hit in the backfield, and we end up needing to pass more than run. For what we have done on the field, I can't say I would recruit us. It feels like there's been almost nothing from our game that would make a coach super excited. And it's another drive we got stopped. Heisman difficulties, no joke. Now we need to rush for 7+ yards on multiple plays. That's the first one. Second one could be a little bit harder. We're also working with only 50 seconds left on the clock, but we cut it back. We're reaching forward, and that wasn't enough. So now we're just going to rely on Meeks to pitch us the football. No one near us, and this is how we're going to end this game. Okay, at least we did something right. Surely we're going to get a lot of game tape. And just from the looks of it, we have walked away with 650. In fact, Rich Rodriguez, West Virginia's head coach, who we just put on our board a little bit ago, we've gotten a scholarship offer. Georgia State, scholarship offer. Old Dominion, scholarship offer. And I think it's time that we set a realistic top 4. Washington, we should have a scholarship offer after this week. I think for now, though, we're going to have to remove Oregon down farther here. And you know what? Oregon State should probably not be on our board if we're massive Ducks fans, so we have room to add one more school. It needs to be one that is interested. We could go to the Big Ten through Purdue, but I'd still want to go to Iowa first, just because they got some cool traditions there. We could save their offense. And then we started to really look around. There's interest from Florida State. There's interest from Miami. I don't understand how there's interest in the first place. But a lot of schools want us, and we're actually going to put Boise State on our board because I think we could shine there if no one else has given us many opportunities. I think it's pretty neat that immediately after putting a school like the Broncos on our board, they've just offered us a scholarship. Same way with Central Michigan. And out of nowhere, after Central Michigan offered us, Michigan State wanted us too. Then we had Brian Newberry reach out again, and this time we're going to decline. I would rather go to another school. Navy's no longer on our top 3. And I even moved the midshipmen down to number 10 on our board. We took off the rest of the bottom feeders that were on here. We want to try try and get some good offers to colleges, because even if we're not going to start immediately, we could develop better there. But honestly, I have like no idea what we're doing. We're lucky that we're even at the position where we have multiple schools to consider us, because if we're just being honest, we've not had the most impressive high school career. We actually have a huge 3rd and 5 coming up. We cannot get held already, which is why we're just going to run an angle route. And what these schools want to see this week is us getting a first down off of an option play. It just won't be coming here. We also need to have an inside zone go for a touchdown. I feel like that's pretty easy for us to accomplish. It's getting there in the first place that's a little bit harder for us, but we'll take 10 here. With us lined up as a receiver, I'm not calling for the football. I don't know why he threw it. I just went over there to check out one of the cheerleaders on the sidelines, but we're going to get a flag out of this play. And instead of 2nd and 10, it's 2nd and 5 with the halfback power close to the marker. It feels like a very good opportunity to pull out the read option as well. This can help us get the first down, which is going to be one of our drive goals. And from here, all we have to do is have an inside handoff go for a touchdown. For whatever reason, this running back reminds me a lot of Cam Scadaboo. We're going to call for it. We're going to reach to the marker, and we're not going to get credit for the first down, but we can fight for one on 4th and inches anyway. I'm just starting to realize that it is taking us absolutely forever to get down the field. Whatever college we decide on, we are going to be milking the clock basically whenever we have the football. And whether we get this 3rd and 5 or not, this has to be 4-down territory. The blocks are amazing. And for the first time in this, I think we completed our first drive successfully. That's saying a lot out of a 1-star prospect. We have flipped our run on this play because they asked us to. They said, flip a run, go for a touchdown. We didn't quite come close there, but we know that we can return to that whenever we get a little bit closer. I actually really like what I'm seeing until I noticed how much time was left in the half. We only have 24 seconds to score that touchdown. I didn't realize that there was a time limit, but this should allow us to get out of bounds. And I'm hoping that he just immediately hits us again. It's not a good throw, though. We have flipped the run. We have our setup to get our touchdown. We just got to get around these defenders. And if we don't pick this up on 3rd and 2, we don't have timeouts left. So we had to. We got it. 700 game tape is more than I think we've gotten in any of our games so far. And on our next drive, as long as we have an outside run for a touchdown, we can get even more. This is beautiful. Finally, we are going to be putting the nation on watch. Well, maybe not the nation. We're the only ranked high school football player in Alaska. But we got to be putting at least somebody on watch as we get stuffed. On 2nd and 9, I was hoping that he would get caught on the line, allowing us to get 8. But we have yet to have an outside run play go for 10+ yards, and that's not changing. I think we'll get a touchdown out of this drive just based off of the way we've gotten blocks. But maybe I was a little bit too confident for that as well, because now it's 3rd and 6. These outside runs have not been panning out, though this play, we got 10, and we can continue to just run it straight down their gut. As we approach a 3rd and 4, it's going to be 4th and 3. But I have to have faith in this play. It helped us finish off the last drive, and they're going to adjust until we cut back. Perfect. Those are the types of running back visions you got to have to be successful. And coaches are certainly going to start taking notice of it, even out in Alaska. What's great about this final drive is all we have to do is score a touchdown. It doesn't even matter how. We're calling for it. We're getting 5, and we're really hoping that whatever college quarterback we have is not as slow at getting it out as Meeks is. I wonder if there's going to be a 2-minute timeout in high school football. We might not ever find out as we just make the catch. We break a tackle. We're still on our feet. Number 10 doesn't bring us down. And those are the types of plays that get your star ratings going up. After we've gotten a game tape of 1,300, we might not be a 1-star anymore. And we have an official offer from BYU. We have an official offer from Iowa. We have an official offer from Memphis. Even Washington wants us. Oregon is the one school that still doesn't, but I think we might get an offer if we advance the week. That is actually exactly what happened. I don't know what type of spot we'd have on the team. We aren't a walk-on though. And with our national rating jumping up to 2,000, we are no longer the worst star rating that you can be. We are a 3-star recruit. We also have senior night coming up for our final high school game, and this is when our head coach told us that we got to cut down our list to our top 3. So before we take on Wasilla High, we have some very tough decisions to make, as we have to decide what programs do we want to leave inside our top 3. I think a lot of that decision is all going to come down to the opportunities that these teams are willing to give us. Like West Virginia would have us as halfback 2. That would be incredible. Behind Jaheim White, we'd fit in well. He'd graduate the year after, then we could take over. But if you look at our projected role at a school like Iowa, at a school like BYU, even at a school like Boise State, we're only supposed to be halfback 4, and that's not good. In fact, I think for most of the schools on our board, we're just supposed to be halfback 4. Memphis would give us halfback 3, so would Michigan State. And you might think think? Central Michigan is the only school on your board that has you at halfback 1? No, halfback 4. So they're getting removed immediately. Oregon actually has us as halfback 3 too. So then I got to thinking, why not see what our role would be by just looking at their depth chart? But they have 2 freshmen that are going to be way higher overalls than we're going to come in as, so I know that we're not going to play for them. But it really looks like West Virginia is an opportunity for us to walk in the building and immediately get on the field at a Power 4 school. I think after everything that I've seen, this is going to be our top 3, West Virginia, Michigan State, and Memphis. We also have to look through their offers because each one of these offers are going to have different bonuses that we can get. So for the Tigers, we'd get an increased starting coach trust bonus. For the Spartans, we would get that, plus we would get an increased starting leadership meter. And then for the Mountaineers, well, they're offering the most of any school. However, we are not dumb. I saw that they had 2 4-star running backs committed in this class. Michigan State also has 3 4-star running backs committed. Memphis does not have any 4 stars. So as we play this last game, that's another thing I got to keep an eye on because I don't want to be sitting behind a bunch of other players. We are going to need senior night to go our way though. We got to go ahead and find our parents in the crowd. This is the one cool thing I actually appreciate they added to this game mode. For the rest of it though, I am just ready to get to college because that's where we can start to have the most amount of fun. Our only goal for this drive is to gain yards on run plays, which means we're running the entire way down the field. We need to get 50 rushing yards, and why won't he pitch it? Doesn't matter how much we call for it. So much for running the football every single play. And then we get a bad throw. I think Meeks is just tanking our stock. But you know what? We have 3 offers to choose from that we can be proud of. So no matter what, we are going to be able to hopefully get on the field somewhere. I guess they haven't guaranteed that to us or anything, which is a little concerning. But let's be honest, we know how college recruitment works. They're just going to lie to us anyway. When we step on campus, whatever campus it ends up being, we are starting from the bottom again. And you have to earn every last rep. You have to earn any minute you're on that field. If we challenge some of these 4-star freshmen to try and take minutes from them, I'm not sure how that'll go. There have been a couple of very explosive plays throughout our high school career, but not enough to have the confidence that we can just walk out in a Power 4 level and actually dominate the way I want to. The last time we ran this halfback swing play, by the way, we lost like 10 yards. Seems like this time the blocks just won't hold. So we'll go back to our bread and butter. This inside zone that's getting stuffed. We really wanted to get a touchdown out of this drive, but it's going to be knocked. And then we got the worst challenge ever. Successfully spin or juke out a defender while also getting 7 yards. Something that we won't even get credit for. We have tried to complete that challenge so many times, but we have never been able to do it, and it's not going to happen here. It's starting to look like we might not get any game tape at all out of this, which is really bad for us, especially since we locked in our top 3. There's no changing things now. Can we at least juke a couple guys? We did. That's a successful juke. The fact that the game won't give us credit for that just shows how broken it really is. I thought that we had the football there. It's a fumble. Let's just go ahead and get off of this field and take a look at our -20 game tape score. Now, here's the thing. We can still make up for some of that. All we have to do on this drive is score a touchdown. That's our one and only goal. But you have to see how much time is left on the clock. It's not much. And that's one of the worst passes I've ever seen. I mean, he just threw it up. He didn't even check to see if there was any chance of us bringing that in first. We will be in the red zone. And this is the final time we ever have to be besides Meeks as we try and take down somebody in high school. It's a big run. What a way to end our career. It's definitely not the amount of game tape that I was hoping to get, but we have somehow still become almost a top 1,000 player nationally. We're 152nd at our position. And I was hoping before we selected a hat, there would be a little bit more information on what school we should choose, but there's nowhere to see anything. So we just got to go in blind. Everything we have been doing up until this point has come down to this moment between 3 schools. You all know the names of West Virginia, Michigan State, Memphis. Let's just go ahead, stand up. We're going to put our hand over the hat that I'm thinking of the most, and I think this might surprise some of y'all a little bit, but I added them onto the board late, and Michigan State, the Spartans, are not going to be the team that I select. See, here's the thing. We saw the recruiting boards. They had too many 4-stars signed. Same thing with West Virginia, which is why you think Memphis is the place that we're going, but we don't want to go there. No, the second that we saw that they were interested in us, West Virginia is where we wanted to end up. We want to try and take them back to the glory days, and I really hope that we just ended up making the best decision for our career. This didn't even feel possible starting as a 1-star. As we arrive on campus, we knew they were going to give us a lot of skill points for choosing them. 62 is far more than I was expecting, though. I think we got to upgrade our speed. But then it hit me. If I just looked at the roster, we were the 6th highest overall running back, which means we might not be getting on the field for multiple years. It's very concerning. There are so many players in front of us, and if we want any chance at ever playing this season, we're going to to have a much higher overall because that's how you earn more coach trust. I think we can catch De'Aurier Hubbard pretty fast, but then Lamar Sperling and at the top Jaden Becks, it's going to be hard. For now, I think we just need to become more elusive. 68 juke move, 67 spin move is certainly not going to cut it. And by the time that we're done, it's going to take us to a 77 overall. We're still going to save 15 skill points if we wanted to upgrade our quickness again. And I think this will give us a much better outlook for getting onto the field this season. As you can see, we only need to earn another 400 coach trust to earn our first position battle, so we just got to perform well in practice. We're going to be studying for classes while also making sure our health stays top notch so that when training rolls around, we can make sure that we perform. And if I think back to the games I grew up playing as a kid, like a Madden 06, these type of rushing drills in the preseason were awesome. We're going to try to do as best as we can. No one out there on the edge, but we need to score a lot of touchdowns and a lot of touchdowns fast because that is what's going to help our multiplier. It really doesn't seem too challenging though for Heisman difficulty. Practice is typically pretty easy. And then once you get into the actual games, that's where things get extremely difficult. Down on the goal line, about 40 seconds left, we already have our bronze medal. And that last touchdown gave us silver. We're just going to keep on getting more. With a couple extra probably getting us that gold medal, we're going to get around number 7. Not all the way though, which is unfortunate. If this run pans out for us, I think we'll finish with a gold medal. It's going to be close. I don't know. But it turns out we did everything that we needed to impress our head coach during that first practice. So I thought Rich Rodriguez was going to give us a position battle, but that's not going to come for another week. We are going to need a total of 6,400 coach trust to catch Jaden Becks unless our overall continues to go up. But here's the thing. We have skill points to do that if we need to. We're going to continue to get more and more as well. And with another good practice, I don't think it's going to be a problem for us to get that battle. I mean, we have just crushed the defense here. We had a gold medal with 20 seconds left. And I think we might earn like 80,000 points off of this drill, which means it's going to be time to explore some others in the future. In total, we were actually able to get 88,000. And it actually says that makes Rich Rodriguez extremely pleased. As we head into our first game of the season, hosting Alabama, we wanted our head coach to be happy with us, but as a 68 overall, I'm concerned. We get to run out to a gold rush crowd, but if we are that low of an overall, we're going to struggle. I don't care though. We waited for this moment. And now we are here. Country roads, take me home. I don't think they run out to that song, but we will be singing it when we have success. And do not let this score fool you. It was never a close game. We never got an opportunity to step on the field. But that was the expected result anyway. Things have been a mess at West Virginia for a while, which is why we need to win these position battles so we can turn things around. I think it's only right that we're confident to head coach Rich Rodriguez as well. Our coaches have told me your attitude has been really positive. We've been pleased with how you're doing. Keep it up. You know it, coach. That's what we'll do. We're actually going to be massive suck-ups as well, and when we got our offensive coordinator asking us to watch some extra film, you know that we're going to do it. The benefit of doing so is we learn a ton from our film sessions, and the coaches notice your attentiveness, they trust you a little bit more, and we get an XP boost. All we care about right now is earning more coach trust so we can get onto the field. I'm not sure what this drill is, but it is called Backfield Survival. Evade the defense for as long as possible to earn points. If we want to win this battle, we have to beat 1,500. That was not a smooth start right there. Stamina, we're going to take that. We only have one guy chasing after us, but he got caught as well, which means if we get this, I think we got all that we need. But here's the thing. We don't just want to win this position battle. We want to make sure coaches are happy with us. He is stuck again. I mean, we could not have gotten a larger man trying to chase us down. And I'm sure he will eventually just get his hands on us. But I take back everything I said about wanting to do as well as possible. All that matters is that green check in the box. And now we got rushing attack. They have an extra defender. This is the same drill that we've been doing this whole time, though. And I'm not sure how we're gonna pull this one off. That extra defender makes a major difference, though we are gonna evade to the right side. And we only need 3,000 more points. It's not going to be that challenging. I think it takes like 1 or 2 more touchdowns. We just need to break a couple tackles. And then we will be halfback 3 on the depth chart. What's that juke move looking like? I mean, we all know that it didn't look great throughout high school, but I was hoping by college things would change up a little bit, especially if we upgraded it like we did. With 1 more touchdown, I think it's going to be over. We didn't get it, but we're 4 yards away. Come on, give us that position, battle, win. I can't say that we've been the most impressive on this drill, but we did just enough to impress coach. That should really do it. And for this third drill, all we have to do is run through as many small hot spots as possible, which would give us even more coach trust. We have already won the position battle, but now we just want coaches to be as impressed as possible, though they should have caught us right there. Luckily, we're going to get this circle. And I'm going to be honest, this drill was kind of weird. I didn't realize that sometimes they could tackle you outside the circle, but I at least made sure we got enough just so we could win. And after going 3 for 3, we earned 600 coach trust. Now, it has just hit me that West Virginia promised us to be running back 2 coming into college, so the fact that we just had to fight for running back 3, it's a little bit disappointing, but we're going to have a chance to challenge for running back 2 in the coming weeks. And eventually, I'm sure we'll get that opportunity for running back 1 as well. As we take on an FCS school, we're ready for our second game of the year. Not a full crowd. But here's the thing. I get to step onto the field anyway. Who cares if it's as a slot receiver? I guess it was pretty short-lived, though, because we're back to watching our team. And the only time that we actually get out there is if they're willing to put us in the slot. I couldn't tell what happened on that play, but they held us to a 3 and out. And since I've learned that we're just going to be a receiver for a little bit, we're going to make the most out of this opportunity. We're going to motion over here. We're going to hope for man-to-man coverage, and we're going to cut. We're going to catch it. One guy to make miss. Hold up your block, buddy. We had a real opportunity there to take that play to the house. Now we're stuck back on the sideline again. And this is when we're just going to get a massive play. Of course, blocking's great. He's wide open and no one's going to come close. So by the time I'm going to get another opportunity in this game, there's like 50 seconds left. They wanted me to block on this play. I don't know if I did a great job. But then coach took me out. You know what, though? Even if we won this game 45-7, we got to be a part of a West Virginia football game. And Rich Rodriguez just won't stay out of my phone. This is a good thing. We are earning his trust over. He says we're doing a team-wide community service event with the local after-school club for kids under 12. We're going as a team. It's not optional. Why'd you tell me, coach? And also, why did it decrease our energy? I can't imagine that anything we were doing with a bunch of 12-year-olds to keep them happy could have taken too much. After high school, you would have thought that I would have learned my lesson with women as well, but here's the thing, they're just too enticing. I can't help myself. We could go with our sorority sister to a party. We're gonna skip that lab. And apparently that's gonna decrease our brand, but I don't really care. We didn't have a brand in the first place. There is nothing wrong with going with Riley and an angry Audrey who then posts some of your DMs on her story. Oh no, our DMs got leaked. Never mind, sometimes you just let some stuff fly. It's a little bit of an embarrassment, but you know what? I think fans would like to know that we're just a shooter that shoots our shot. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's the type of guy that you want on your roster. Anyway, we're just going to upgrade our speed. It's going to go up to a 91. We're also a 78. And what that means for us is next week, we better be having our next position battle to go to halfback 2 from Lamar Sparling. Take that job away from him. We're also closing in on Jaden Becks, who thinks halfback 1 is just his job forever. I sure don't, though. But before any of that can happen, we're going on the road to number 18, 2-0 Utah. I think it'd be fun if we could also run out at these opposing team stadiums from that POV perspective. Just an idea for you next year, EA, because it would be fun for us to get booed. And I wish this one went our way, but we lost 21-11, which means we're falling to 1-2. I'm just going to be real. If we're going to make it to the college football playoff, we probably need to win every game that is still left on our schedule. And I think we're going to have an opportunity to make a difference if we could just win this position battle. I'm also more than willing to spend a ton of energy studying because I did a road to glory early on whenever this game dropped, and if you all saw it, we missed out on a conference championship due to our GPA. I do not want that to happen again. There's no reason for us to get benched like that. Jump cut drill. This was a fun one last year. Got to avoid the balls. We're about to get hit by the balls. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Oh, look at the maneuvers there. You're telling me all we have to do is do this twice and we're automatically going to win this first battle? That's not challenging at all. In fact, by the end of it, I think we're going to get a gold medal on this drill. And to immediately follow it up, we got the elusiveness one, the one that I was hating on that is really boring. I don't know what it is about this, but it's just like the fact that the players will sit there and freeze after so you can run around. You can make it so there's no chance that they tackle you. And it makes it super easy to get a medal in, so I don't care if we're tackled. With both of those wins out of the way, we're still looking to complete this one successfully. Apparently, all we have to do is run through as many hot spots as we can and then go to the end zone. I've never seen this drill before. So we just got to get through, hurdle over it. Uh-oh. I might actually mess up this drill. I didn't even mean to run out of bounds. You got to be so careful there. What? Okay, this is definitely a failure. We're trying to like inch our way over now so we don't run out of bounds. But things are not looking good. Things aren't looking good at all. There's not much time remaining and we're out again. I can't believe how bad I am at this drill. I really can't because we've been so successful with some of the other ones. I want to get this right. Not for the medal or anything, but just to prove that we can get it done. That was definitely a learning lesson. We're only going to get 300 coach trust instead of 600 because we messed up. But guess what? We got the result that we wanted anyway, and let's see if we get onto the field against Kansas. I have literally been waiting this entire video for this moment, a chance for us to get meaningful snaps at running back in college. And it told me we were going to be out there, but we're watching Lamar Sperling. It's actually a sick joke that it's been playing on us. We beat him out for the starting job, but we didn't actually step onto the field until the fourth quarter. That's also going to be our only carry. And I should be happy because we won 21-3, but we didn't get the opportunities that I was hoping for. We got one carry. I guess Mary Potter's going to make us feel a little bit better. She's our academic advisor. She told us that we did very well on our quiz grades, so that'll increase our GPA all the way up to a 2.8, but I was hoping it'd be a little bit higher the way she was talking. We're going to keep on spending energy here until we're in degrees. It looks like we are immediately going to challenge for halfback 1 as well after our bye week, which is just incredible. I was not expecting that to happen. Rich Rodriguez prepared to stay for an hour after practice this morning. We think we might want to shake up the depth chart a bit, and that is exactly what I wanted to see. For our first drill, we got the one with the extra defenders, the rushing attack. We were able to complete this the last time, so I don't see why we wouldn't be able to pull it off again. They got us there. But we just got to get a burst of acceleration a little bit quicker to get around all those defenders and maybe go for 6. I don't remember needing to score as many points as we need here, though. It says the score to beat is 12,000. The last time, I think all we needed was 4. With this time frame, that's going to make this almost impossible to pull off. We're going to have to get a lot more touchdowns. And there we go. We got one there. We got to get around this defender and not get caught. I am very worried that we're just not going to be able to pull this off, but I like a run like that. It puts us at 6,000 points, where if we just get a couple more touchdowns, we might be able to win. Okay, we got 14 seconds to do it. We're going to the outside. Juke inside, still not great, but I think we'll be okay. We just can't get caught. That was how we got our explosive run the last time. I'm hoping we can beat them to the outside here. And apparently that was it. So it's on to drill number 2. Now, this is a drill we're pretty good at, but I might be panicking. I might be jinxing myself. I'm folding under pressure. Stop getting caught. Just get around the defenders. Avoid the balls. He didn't get hit there. We had literally already run by it by the time it said that we got hit by the ball. I think we're going to have to be perfect if we want to complete this drill now. Why are we struggling so much? This is something that we just did with ease. All right, here we go. Third attempt. This one was actually the smoothest, I thought, but we're just not gliding between the two like we were effortlessly on some of the other drills. I don't think we're going to have enough to complete this. No, we're short. It doesn't even matter what we do on the reaction and footwork test. My least favorite drill in the world. Sometimes we're able to do this part. The other times it was just sending us out of bounds. But we did not do very well on this. And I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Oh, there it is. I will say I have eventually figured things out. There's like a little arrow. Well, I thought I figured it out. We lost everything. There's no way we won a single one of those there. Lost 300 coach trust. And it's clear to me if we're going to become the starter for the Mountaineers, we're going to have to be so much better. At least we should get another position battle extremely soon because we already have enough coach trust earned. And 2 weeks before exams, we are prepared to pass with flying colors, which should increase our coach happiness. I just imagined headed into this game on the road at West Virginia, we'd be in a different spot. It seemed like we were going to win the starting job. We were going to be taken over here in the rain on a neutral site. I don't know if this is a tradition between these two teams or what, but we're playing at a Bank of America stadium. And every time it says that I'm going to be out there for a play, I select a play and it just makes us watch. It's actually the most frustrating thing ever. As you can see, we're ready to get in, to get our opportunity, and then we have to watch. I don't know what we're going to have to do to actually play. All of a sudden, though, one of those times that we select a play, we're in for a carry, and we might be able to get a touchdown. We fight our way in. It's our first rush of the game. We get into the end zone, get our first college touchdown, and then we'll never see the field again. I'd imagine if my team would have used me a little bit more, maybe we wouldn't have lost to Virginia by 7. But you know what? All of that was avoidable in the first place if we just won our position battle. Now we're getting quizzed by our coach. A couple of questions coming in. We're 2 for 2 at the moment. And if we don't get this right, I'm going to be pretty upset. But we got all 3. So our coach trust just continues to increase. And it turns out they couldn't be any happier with me either. We got the max happiness out of our coaches, but we still don't get onto the field, even as halfback 2. For us to get another position battle, I think we have to wait 1 more week. And going on the road to TCU, I'm hoping we can pull this off so we still have a chance at winning the Big 12. I think we all know that there's not much I can do since I'm just stuck here watching. But after that drive stalled out, we've been put in for a massive 4th and 11 to keep the game alive. and we make the catch. Now, coach's response is immediately taking me out, but we are in at tight end for this play, so we might just get a receiving touchdown. I wasn't even planning on getting the ball, but we're in the end zone, and we have been an impact player. When are we going to get a bigger opportunity? It's just frustrating because apparently we didn't get the 2-point conversion. So we picked up another loss, but who cares? We have another chance to become the permanent starter. During that same week, we've also been told that we got straight A's during our midterms. But the schooling stuff doesn't matter to me at the moment. We know what we have to do to win some of these drills. It was not easy, and we're going to have some really big runs like this. Scoring touchdowns fast is the only way we're going to get that multiplier up. And so that's what we've done, just outrunning these kids. It's actually not that bad. If you can get them to suck in and then just jet to the outside, you can score touchdowns a little bit easier than I was thinking. And this is about to be 3 or 4 in a row. With 27 seconds left, we only need a couple thousand more points. I can't believe we didn't complete this the first time. I was so nervous. I was so worried. We made a couple mistakes like getting tackled in a spot like that. But it's just made me realize there was no reason we should have lost that first battle because we literally got a gold medal. As for our next drill, it's the elusiveness one. We have to get 2,000 points. And I told you all, it's kind of weird. You just got to run around the defenders, make them get stuck, and then you're able to get all these circles. When you're more careful with it, it is a lot easier. As you can see, we still got plenty of time left. And we've been able to get up to about 1,000 points now. But the time remaining does run down kind of quick, so you have to keep that in mind. Either way, this drill has been incredible for us to just rack up more points and to win another battle. On our final 2 reps, we literally need to run through 2 more circles, and this could be the one right here. We are going to become the starting running back. It doesn't even matter how we do during backfield survival, though we know more coach trust would just make it so the starting job is actually permanent. If we play poorly, I guess it could be taken away still. But in order for us to actually put up the 3,000 points we need, we would have had to do better than that. We will take this position battle being won. I just hope that we actually get the snaps that it says we will. At the moment, we're sitting at 2-4, but it's our first start. We should be able to beat Cincinnati, who has lost 3 conference games. And if we magically somehow just ended the season winning every single matchup, maybe there's playoff hopes. It would be a stretch, but we could still become the Big 12 conference champion. We only have 2 conference losses, and I have to set our goal super high, though a more realistic one is just getting to a bowl game and actually winning. First carry in this game did not go too well, but we've scored a touchdown in the last couple, so I'm hoping I can get another. It just seems like we're going to be a lot more reliant on throwing the ball, as on 3rd and 12, we're open, but it's not enough. Back on the field pretty soon, though, and that's going to allow us to get a 7-yard gain. As a freshman, I don't have much control over the playbook, but as we earn more coach trust, that'll change. And it is a little crazy that we're getting 3 carries in a row already, especially since we're averaging like 1.5 yards per carry, but we got the first down. I have to say, though, this playbook is pretty rough. It's pretty dull for West Virginia. All the time in the world, by the way. We have to step up. And I feel like we need some under center runs out of this. If we didn't get caught there, we were gone. Definitely a little bit of a disappointing start. We literally have 7 carries for 8 yards. Heisman difficulty has not been too kind, and I thought we were about to get a lot more there. They're all over us. The only way we have an opportunity to score is us getting the ball back in a really good spot, and we are still finding ways to mess that up. I can't believe how little yardage we got. Halfback screens at least going in our favor, but I think this is going to be similar to the last 3rd down where they just stack the line. Somebody gets through, and we lose some yards. It's so weird, but in a running back road to glory, I feel more confident as a wide receiver, which we got. Maybe that's where we just need to decide to spend some of our skill point upgrades. And we're running back our favorite play out of high school. We might be able to get a touchdown out of it. It's overthrown into an interception. Are you kidding me? I don't know why I ever said anything about potentially getting to the playoff. We are going to be lucky if we even have a chance at a bowl game. We have scored 0 points. I thought we would be a little bit more successful. And on 3rd and 2, the blocking just isn't there. With all the wear and tear damage that we're taking, I'm not breaking off a big run. In fact, I think there's a higher probability of us getting injured and not seeing the field for a while. I mean, this is awful. It's now 3rd and 8. We are averaging less than 1.5 yards per carry for sure. And that was just spotted as a 4th and inches. To keep this drive alive, they're going to let us go for it, and the blocks were really nice. But at the end of the day, they've not looked like this the entire game. We're also being forced to run like the same play over and over. We have no options. So without switching up the look, Cincinnati should never be surprised by what we're doing. I mean, we have literally come out of this set so many times. But maybe a pass is going to catch them off guard to a tight end. 4th and 1. Here we go. We have the numbers on the line. We just had to get off the snap. And I think a speed option could go really well as long as they aren't playing me. I just can't believe that we're not being taken off of the field. But I guess coach wants to keep us out there. We've scored a lot of touchdowns in recent weeks, and it's about to be another 4th down. What's crazy, though, is if they just hit me in the seam, I'm gone. I'm gone. We're going to score a touchdown 3 weeks in a row. We're also going to celebrate with the Cincinnati cheerleaders. I mean, can you blame me? You've heard me talking. This is what we're doing. And we also have the ball back with 2 minutes left, which means this game is not over. I mean, we just drove a dude into the ground for fun. It was an excellent block. It didn't serve any purpose at all. We are ready to come back. And I actually think the best thing we could do is come out in 5 wide. First play, quarterback draw. But we're going to hurry it up, and this is the only time that we get some decent options with the play calling. It's when we have the most success offensively, immediately 10, 15 yards. And it'd be nice if we could snap the ball, but apparently this is another glitch. We're going to have to use one of our few timeouts. It truly is a shame how buggy Road to Glory is, because this could be such a fun game mode. And we better lock in. There's still a minute left. We just caught that last one. I was hoping to get out of bounds. We're now at 8 catches for 93 yards, and we're going to go over 100 with this one. There is still hope to beat the Bearcats. I can't believe they haven't figured out how to stop us. I mean, that was the same type of look over and over. The blocks are there. We're not in, but we are literally half a yard away. Rushing touchdown, 2 touchdowns on the day with this play. If it was up to me from this moment, we're going for the 2-point conversion. But it's not up to me. We have -14 speed as well. I really don't think that we can handle overtime, but we are. We're just going to have to find a way. Cincinnati's already scored on their first drive, and that should have been a sack. If we were to run the ball, I can't say that I'd get more than a couple yards, so we have to keep on throwing. I guess we can try and mix in a couple runs. The speed option going nowhere. And for the first time, I've been pulled. I guess the wear and tear added up. I got injured. Something happened. Turns out we scored, then got held to a field goal, then Cincinnati got a touchdown. In all of that, we didn't get to step onto the field once. It is so annoying. That's how it all plays out. When we just had a game where we put our body on the line like this, we took a lot of shots. We also earned a lot of coach trust because of how well we performed. And we also unlocked a lot of extra plays, plus the ability to change up the hot routes. On the ground, we might have only averaged 2.4 yards per carry, 62 total yards, but we did have 127 receiving yards. We had a touchdown there. And we have gotten our first media opportunity. A reporter has asked us, West Virginia now lost 3 in a row. From your perspective, what will it take for this streak to end? I gotta criticize the coaching staff because they have been the problem. I can't say that was the smartest thing I've ever done. Still need some media training. But who cares? At this point, we're just gonna have a bunch of fun. We're in college. We're breaking curfew. We're going to the party with Mackenzie. And this time, going out, having a good time is actually gonna increase our brand and followers. We've also gotten our first NIL deal that I'm gonna take because we need the toughness. We also need the skill points. We need the followers. This is a great deal for both of us. And we have spent so many skill points healing back to full health that I have no energy to spend on training or academics. I've also kind of just started to neglect practice. You all saw a lot of those drills during the position battles. I don't think they're anything too exciting. They don't give us much coach trust. And the only thing that we still need to build up even more coach trust for in the future is being able to unlock audibles, but that's so far down the line because we're going to need 16,000. At this moment, I think it's pretty obvious that we're not going to win the Big 12. We're at the bottom of the conference. And we also have teams like number 14 Texas Tech on our schedule, but if we can find a way to win 4 of these last 5 games, we'd be bowl eligible. I would like that quite a bit. We just went to a team that I didn't realize was going to be this bad. I knew things hadn't been great for West Virginia, but I didn't realize they'd been that poor. It doesn't matter though. The awesome part about playing here is even though we're 2-5, we still got a lot of fans showing out here to support, and we will take a 10-yard run off of the rip. I'm thinking our offensive line is about to dominate against Arizona. I decided to switch up our playbook to Michigan's to see if that made any difference as well. I mean, the first 2 runs really worked, but it seems to be similar formations that we're stuck with, so I'm not sure this is the playbook for us. On 3rd and 13, since we couldn't get any big runs going the last couple carries, it seems like we're going to have to give it back to the Wildcats. But just like that, we are past midfield, and we have a halfback stretch play coming up. My favorite one. I'm not losing faith if it didn't work there either because we're going to fake them out with a play action. Hopefully, this leads to a touchdown even though it's been thrown up in double coverage. And on 3rd and 8, they went with a little bit of a blitz. We just sent up another prayer. These are not good reads. We should have been able to get points out of that drive. And it would have been really nice, especially since Arizona marched down the field and scored. But we're breaking off our biggest run yet. And that just lets me know that we got to continue to upgrade our speed. That has to be our focus. because that needs to be a house call right there. It would have changed everything. At the moment, we're 7 carries deep for 60 yards. This is so much different than last week. We've already rushed for more than we did the game before. Until they figure out how to stop us, I see no reason that we don't stay in hurry up mode. I see no reason why we shouldn't just keep on running that same inside zone. Though they eventually have figured out how to hold us there, and it's about to be 3rd and 7. I'm not a huge fan of the play calls we got to select through here, but we're going to be able to pick up the first down. And I also don't see why we won't be able to run this in for 6. Well, actually, I can see exactly why. I wish we could audible because Gallagher is wide open. We're still going to get the blocks that we need, though. And we've actually gotten the ball back with a minute left in the half as well. Our defense has gotten a stop. So I'd say things are looking pretty good. One thing I cannot handle, though, is all of these inaccurate passes. It's gotten pretty frustrating to deal with in our career. And Marshall just has to be a little bit better for us, which he was right there. I'm pretty sure Nico Marshall is a senior, which is good or bad news depending on who we would get in the transfer portal. I mean, that was just a grown man's run, and this is what I was hoping we would have looked like last week. We have really started to play better. We're not going to be open underneath, and I think there's a holding call. So unfortunately, all that we just gained is coming back with 26 seconds left. But either way, we should be able to end this first half with a field goal, which is plenty enough for us. I mean, we're going to have a lead over Arizona either way. We're actually open here for a potential touchdown as we just get in time. And that's already 2 for us in this game. All of a sudden, it feels like we could actually finish out this season pretty strong if we keep this up. And putting on all those extra pounds has really paid off for us just with the way that we're breaking tackles. This run has been effective for us too, but on a 3rd and 6, it won't be enough. So we are getting taken off the field as we punt it back to them. Arizona would follow that up with a touchdown, so we might have gotten a little bit too far ahead of ourselves. Even though things seem great, we might not even be able to win this game. They could have picked that. On 3rd down, I'm just hoping that we're able to move the chains. It looks like that is probably going to be knocked away, though. And sure enough, even though we couldn't see it, it was. Luckily, after forcing a 3 and out, we have the football back. And I just have to believe in our game through the air, especially since they don't seem to want to guard me in the flat, which is getting us a huge amount. It's the easiest read for Nico to make as well, so there's a very low risk of him messing that up. And that was a huge carry there. Not on this play, though. What I would really like is that ability to audible. I think it would change a lot because at the moment we can't. So we don't have many passing plays or passing options whenever we do get a passing play. That's risky. I mean, it worked, but it was definitely risky. We had the leverage. I just get scared that there could be an interception. We cannot have that at this point in the game. And to be honest, I just got to be better there. We should have been able to get a lot more yards than we did. As for our 1st and goal play call, we're going to have a corner on us, but we're going to immediately call for it. And it made me realize maybe we should have just handed the football off. That doesn't work either, though. We're going to try our best to just have our quarterback throw it to Gallagher. Maybe he can scramble in. I had the block. And look at Nico Marchio making plays, giving us the lead. We'd also get a defensive stop, which means with 3 minutes left, it's on us to run out the clock. We might be giving it straight back to the Wildcats, though. Depending how these next couple of plays go, don't get in our way. I now have 150 yards on the ground, but this is a huge 3rd and 2, and it's there. It is there. That makes me feel a little bit better, but I just realized we still need one more first. And on the other side of the 2-minute warning, I will probably be calling for this ball immediately. We tried to end it, but we weren't on the same page, which means Arizona went down the field and they scored. Now we need at least a field goal ourselves. That was a good start there. Not for us. We look completely clueless, but we're open with the halfback angle route. This time we bring it in. And we just have to stay out there in hurry up mode, continuing to run the same plays if we need. We still have all 3 of our timeouts left as well, which is very good news. I wasn't sure if they'd be guarding us over in the flat, and we could catch them off guard with a run here, which we did. We're at the 12. From there, coach is taking us off of the field. I really hope that they manage the clock correctly. I can't with how dumb the AI is. I am done trying to create storylines as well, making excuses for it when we didn't even attempt a field goal. I can't even sit here and act like we missed a field goal because we didn't even attempt one. It's ridiculous. We had 3 timeouts. We were in a perfect position to just win this game, but EA can't code this game correctly. I just don't get it, man. There's just so much potential that goes completely wasted because of them. And we might lose this game because of it. Come on. Allow us to score. We're not going to get in there, though. On 3rd down, I'm running underneath. Slant. Touchdown. Then after that, Arizona scored, but on their 2nd drive, they were only able to get a field goal. So if we score a touchdown, we will take down the Wildcats. At this rate, though, we might just miss our field goal attempt because it is now 3rd 19. So here we go. We got to cross our fingers. There was no way for us to watch it, but we didn't end up hitting the kick. So we have lost another overtime game. It's actually disgusting too, because it should have never gone there in the first place. We had 185 yards on the ground, 5.1 yards per carry, touchdown. Then we had 2 touchdowns through the air, 125 receiving yards. We did everything to win that game, and it still was not enough. Then we have our head coach, Rich Rodriguez, hitting us up. Someone on social media took a picture with you the night before our game last week and posted it at 1 a.m. Meet outside the stadium tomorrow morning. We'll be doing some running while we talk about the importance of curfew. Are you kidding me, coach? I just went off. I don't care if my coach trust is getting decreased. I want to transfer. I'm just kidding. Not yet. We're not going to blow things up. We're going to give a polite answer to our head coach, who is probably going to be gone at the end of the year anyway. And for whatever reason, like 5 minutes after he was just super upset at us, he is now telling me that the entire coaching staff has been really pleased with me lately. Then he sent me the 4th message in a row. Rich Rodriguez, buddy, I just want to get into our next game. After winning Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week, I've realized that we have a bright future. But apparently, I don't have enough energy to fully recover our health before we take on number 20 Texas Tech on the road. I feel like so far, there's been a lot of unlucky moments in my career. And we know what is on the line here. If we don't win this game, then we're not going to have any shot at making a bowl. I have a feeling this is probably not going to go the way we want it to. I mean, Texas Tech is extremely good, though we're getting a decent carry here. We're staying on our feet, and it was marked as a 3rd and 1 somehow. I thought we had that first down for sure, but we're going to get it on this play. If West Virginia just could do a better job in recruiting and retaining this roster, I feel like we could have a lot of success here. I really don't want to transfer after a season like I typically do in all my road to glories. It makes for an easy thumbnail. It makes for an easy title, but I think the real story would be if we could stay with the Mountaineers and then have so much success that we win a national championship. I gotta say, some of these offensive linemen, they're doing a great job for us, but we have to fight ourselves for this 3rd and 3. And we're only at the 36-yard line. This has been like the longest drive in the world. If we're able to eventually finish it off, we'd be like 20 plays deep, though we're getting a huge run. And I can't believe this, but we already have 61 yards on the ground. Make that 67. I think that creates a perfect time, though, for us to finally pass the ball, because they can't be expecting it. And the quick dump-offs are just not working that well for us. We'll run the ball. Running's been working. Once Texas Tech goes to that goal line defense, though, that is where we typically just get stopped. We should have been rushing to that right side. It was so much more open on the last play than it is here. Come on. I swore that we were in on 3rd and goal. Please don't get any block sheds. Allow us to fight and don't pull us off so we can just kick 3. I want it to be known, by the way, we actually did miss that field goal. It somehow got blocked, so we didn't get any points. And that was after 14 rushes for 75 yards down the field. We worked so hard. We just got to get better as a player, though, if we're going to carry this Mountaineer team. There's no excuses for not finishing off that last drive. We should have done it ourselves. Looks like we're getting 3 big runs in a row. And eventually, we've gone 5 wide. We're about to get railed. Should not have caught that. Sets us up for a 3rd and 7, where I'm just going to go for a halfback angle route. That has been our bread and butter. We now have 8 first downs to the Red Raiders 3, but they have the 7-point lead. Our wear and tear is already a major problem too. Plus, that was just an inexcusable drop. We had no options for passing plays, so we have to run it, but I guess it worked. And I'd much rather just sit back and pass protection for a play, hoping that we get off more than a couple of yards here. We really need to get into the end zone on this drive if we want any chance at winning this game. But I think I just got injured because we're getting taken out. I haven't seen the field since that moment, by the way. I haven't seen the field since that moment. That's it. That's it. We just lost the entire season, any chance at a bowl game, because we got pulled out in the 2nd quarter. As the frustration just continues to grow, we're going to start cheating. I don't care about school anymore. And we actually didn't get caught. Our GPA got a bump. We have to spend all of our energy basically every single week just recovering our health. And you know that you're having a bad season whenever Oklahoma State has a better record than you do. It's starting to hit me that as badly as I want to stay with West Virginia, I'm not sure that we can. We have to somehow bring this place back to glory, though. That has been the goal. Another goal that we're going to set is just winning a game this season, because we haven't been able to do that yet. At least one that we've started in, and that could have been a bigger run. It just feels like there's letdown after letdown at the moment. But we wanted to start at the bottom. We wanted to work our way up, and honestly, I feel like some of our first college starts have been really good. Like, you see the moves that we're pulling out right there. Lots of potential still. We're about to score a touchdown. The question just becomes, do we get this run into the end zone, or are they going to shed us like crazy and make us lose like 5 yards? Turns out they aren't going to shed us. We're going to get that first tutty. And when we get the football back, we're going to look to dominate Oklahoma State's line again. I understand that won't happen on every drive, though, which is why we're also pulling out a pass. I probably should have been a better check down option for us there. I'm open in the flat, though. Come on. I was on a block and release. You gotta hit us there. But it's all good. Oklahoma State did nothing with it. We have the ball back, and there's a gaping hole that I am going to hit in stride. This is going to be the biggest play of my career. Our longest touchdown run, of course. And that is exactly why I want to continue to upgrade our speed. We just did a gritty on the mascot. Oklahoma State is taking all sorts of disrespect at the moment. I almost got loose there, too. And we're currently just 10 rushes in for 160 yards. This is what we were hoping for. It might take facing the Cowboys, but this is giving me hope for the future of West Virginia. And let's see how our blockers hold up here on a 3rd and 4. Me personally, I wish we went for it there, but we're getting taken off the field. And we'd actually end up hitting that field goal. Our next drive, we're going to come out, catch a pass for 10. Though there's not much time left in the half, so I don't wish that we'd be running the football, except if it's going to work out like this, maybe we should just keep giving it to me. What we're going to do to follow that up as well is just hand it off. We can't go all the way, but I thought we might just pull off another touchdown, which would have been insane. I was kind of hating on the 2 tight end, the 3 tight end sets, but it has worked out really well here. So maybe we should just stick with the West Virginia playbook, because I don't think I changed it for this game. We almost had him. Then we can quickly come out in 5 wide, maybe get off a fast pass play. Don't step out. It could have been another touchdown. I mean, a performance like this is going to put the nation on watch either way, but I want to get as many touchdowns as possible. And we're just going to take this next handoff up the middle, which I thought was more open. I didn't realize it, but on 20 carries, we have 281 rushing yards. And I was hoping that we'd get another run play, but we decided to go for a pass instead. With the way that they're stacking up on the line here, it just made the most sense, especially if I wanted to score. But they're going to hold us again. It's so annoying how they'll just leave receivers wide open, and they'll always run the same goal line defense. It makes it very hard to score as a running back and run up our touchdown numbers, but we got the ball back pretty quick. This is where we're looking to just end the drive here, but we're going to be short. And I think we know how this is about to go. They're going to make us lose yards. In fact, they've come out to stop the run on 3rd and goal too. I wasn't sure if they would, but we're going to get in without being touched. And I wish coach would just take us out at this point. Our wear and tear's adding up. And the game's over, so I think he finally did. Although we can't make it to a bowl, this is why you continue to play. You continue to try, because we had almost 300 rushing yards on the ground. But apparently, after I thought I got away with it, we were caught cheating on the last test because we got turned in by a TA. I am so disappointed. So now I have to spend time with Nate Flower watching some film made before 1960 and writing a paper on it just to get my GPA up. When I decided to attend West Virginia, I didn't think the academics would be this strict, especially for a player that just rushed for almost 300 yards, winning his 2nd Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week. And on top of that, our first ever National Offensive Player of the Week award. They just don't want things to be easy for us here, which is why we have continued to make sure that we're just scraping by. At one point, I might have tried to achieve more, but we're fine with where we're at now. I think we're just going to upgrade our speed. That's going to give us 93, 95 excel, 95 stamina. We could have focused on elusiveness to get that juke and spin up. But if I learned anything from our last game, I just want to have more breakaway touchdowns. With Iowa State being an 81 overall though, and we have to play them on the road, I don't know how this will go. Surprisingly, it's the first time where I've really noticed the stadium pulse. I didn't notice it at Texas Tech. That's why you have speed. The fact that I can look at the camera as we just rush for a touchdown is incredible. What an opening play to this game. You know, there was parts of me that was like, there's no chance we stay at West Virginia. I can't carry this program. Well, I take it back. I think it is a no-brainer that we got to stay with the Mountaineers for another year. We have to see what's possible whenever we're playing a full season, and EA is also not just cheating us out of games. Now, that wasn't the best way to call for the ball, but I also thought it was going to be a bullet pass. And it's not like Iowa State did anything with it anyway, as they're still at 0. I think they've picked up on the fact that I want to get fed the football quite a lot, though, except they weren't ready for me to break away on that route. Not a great spin. That is the problem with only having a 76 spin move, but we focused on speed for a reason. That breakaway run to open up this game solidified exactly what I was hoping for. That was a great block. And I gotta say, for all the little frustrating things that are still in place in Road to Glory, there is nothing more satisfying than watching our offensive line block so far. I was kind of hoping that we would have reached for the first, though, but that was on me. I could have just avoided the defender. We didn't get anything out of that drive. And it's almost like we broke off that one run, but ever since then, we've done basically nothing, which is exactly what's happened. It's now 3rd and 8, and we need to make sure that this drive stays alive. But it didn't. Luckily, Cyclones offense still struggling a lot in this game. We have to be better after the catch. 9 yards is okay, but I want to turn that into a much larger gain. And we're actually going to go for a huge passing play here. I can't help block. We didn't even get a chance to let our deeper routes develop, but they were supposed to be there. Now on 3rd and 1, apparently, we need to block for this wide receiver screen, but it was guarded. And that means we're going to get held to end this half. Ever since that first play, we have not scored again. That's really all it's been. I was so excited, so pumped up with the way the game opened. And ever since then, I feel like I've just been let down. We're about to get stopped again. It is 3rd and 6. We're actually approaching the end of the 3rd quarter as well. That's short. But fortunately, Iowa State only got a field goal. We still win this game with the touchdown if we manage the clock correctly. I really don't see it happening, though. I mean, they have focused so much on stopping me, and they've done a great job. We might be able to break off a big run if the speed option is actually pitched, though. Pitch it. Let's go. Why'd he fall? No, you've got to be kidding me. It took that as a conservative catch. I was running the football. I've never seen that before. I was spamming the call for it button. That's what happened. You just got to be careful. That's something you got to be noted and worried about in the future, I guess. Just got to chalk it up to, I don't think today is our day. But if we still pull this off, maybe it is. Right before the 2-minute timeout, we're going for one more run play. Could have been big. But even if it isn't, we need to take some time before we inevitably score. I don't want the Cyclones to have any time to respond because they will find a way to if they haven't. And these block sheds just keep on getting more brutal and more brutal for us. I'm trying to run behind our blocker. Now that it's 3rd and 2, we're just going to take the easy space, easy catch. We still have 1:15 left and we couldn't get out. There's actually quite a long way to go before we score a touchdown. And there's a sack. So that is not good news at all. We're going to have to call for it and just hope that we make the play because nobody else is. Here we go. This is it. 4th and 8. We got a little bit of a tight end angle. Bring in all the distraction on the defense. Why would you throw that immediately? I feel like my entire college career so far has just been frustration after frustration. The Oklahoma State game was the only time that we got all good things. And as we head into the final week of the regular season, we're going to be facing off against Houston. We're the only 2 teams in the conference that have only been able to win 2 conference games. So whoever loses this one is going to finish at the bottom of the Big 12, and we don't want that to be us. I just feel like every team that we've played has had a much better overall than we have, and I'm not sure if that's going to change next season or not. Although I don't think I'm going to transfer, I genuinely might just dip my head into the portal to see what potential options for the future could be. And the worst thing that could happen is West Virginia just starts giving us some more cash. They realize that if they want me to stay around, they're going to have to pay me a little bit more because other schools want me. That's the hope, at least. On 3rd and 10, I don't even want to be out there. We're supposed to be blocking, but we didn't have time. We still had to go through the play action animation, and Houston did not fall for it at all, but we might just crib it. A couple cuts differently, and we might have actually done that there. We need the shifty ability more than anything. I think that's going to be the first thing we focus on going into next season. And on 3rd and 6, I'm just going to have to run a Texas route. They're still going to hold us up. We're also going to be very passive and punt it to them. But it is what it is. I can't even blame us for that. The offense has been struggling. It's been uninspiring ever since that one game against Oklahoma State. I also think it should be noted, there's no way we last our entire college career with wear and tear on, with as many carries as we're getting. I don't know what it's going to do to our lifespan, but it's got to shrink it. They were ready for the speed option. And on 2nd and 14, I'm just going to get off of the block. But it doesn't really matter. They got their pressure in time. And they did there too. It is truly looking like we're just going to finish 3-9 with West Virginia. I've done no good here so far. And I'm not sure how next season could be any better for us. But we got a wide open tight end. We're going to be at the 10-yard line. All right, after a couple runs, this is where we finish off the job on 3rd and goal. Or it's just going to get stuffed and we have to kick another field goal. It is not looking good for our odds of beating Houston. Maybe things will change in the second half, but it doesn't seem like it's going to. We have to go like 95 yards down the field, actually getting a huge lane right there. But we should have turned that into so much more than it was. 2nd and 5. They're all committed down to the run like they should. And most of our success offensively still came off of that one passing play. I wish that we were getting more passing plays to choose from, but the computer literally gives us like the same 5 or 6 plays to choose the entire season. But this is one we have never seen before, so we are going to run it, and it's actually working. It's amazing what can happen whenever the computer doesn't know exactly what's coming. And I can't do it anymore. Just give me a new team. Give me a new quarterback. I need help, because I can pull off plays like this. Just imagine how much we could thrive if we could earn a job at a really big school. That's got to be the end goal. I don't know if the Heisman Trophy or the national championship's going to come at West Virginia. Maybe the Heisman Trophy could if we had to carry this team as much as we already have. I mean, you do that for a full season, 200 yards a game, couple touchdowns. You finish with some really good stats. So maybe that's our goal next year. As for actually winning those games, though, that's a whole other story because we have struggled with that so far this year. And on 3rd and 5, you know that we can't run it down here. We're going to just call for it, and that's enough. We're in. 2-point conversion is a major deal. We had to go with a run play. That was just the best option that was available. Run into the outside. And just like that, it's all tied up at 14. Confidence is back. I'm actually feeling really good about this drive, especially this first play. But we just could not block that guy on the outside. If we block that guy on the outside, it is a completely different outcome. Now on 3rd and 3, pressure is on. And guess what? It's going back to Houston. Our defense did not let up, though. They got us the ball back as well. We were open for just a split second. And on a very big 3rd and 8, we're open, which is going to get us just enough. Odds are looking a little bit better in our favor now. We are also going to break off a huge run. No one catching us. Finally, I did something good, man. I've been waiting for something like this. And the best part, our defense got a stop, so we're just going to take a knee to win. We're going to finish off this season with some positive momentum going into next year, 233 yards on the ground. And after all of that, we're still getting hit up by the student newspaper saying that we had a disappointing year, not making a bowl game. What's it going to take to turn the season around next year? We just have to commit to being better. I also got my final exam results back, and there's room for improvement, but it's enough for us to be eligible. So that's at least a plus. Texas Tech ended up winning the conference championship over Arizona State, and the Heisman Trophy that we want in the future went to Kevin Jennings. Even though we only played like half the season, though, we finished first team all Big 12, and it looks like we're also going to finish on the freshman All-American team. I honestly thought that I was going to average less yards per carry than what we finished with. On the receiving side, we actually had the most receiving yards of anybody on West Virginia. I don't know how that's even possible in the first place, but there's a reason that we weren't one of these top teams. And here's the thing, as we come to the end of my freshman season, I've got some tough decisions to make because we spent a lot in speed. We didn't spend as much in elusiveness. We have 7 skill points left still. We're only a 79 overall. So it feels like what makes the most sense is just staying at West Virginia, keeping our starting spot, and running it back here, hopefully leading them to more success in the future, especially if these are our transfer options. Of course, though, I still got to think it over, so let me know what you all would do down in the comments below. Make sure to like the video if you made it this far, and check out some of my other rebuilds too.